Hey y'all, we back, y'all. We back and we waiting and welcome, y'all. I'm so excited. I just can't wait to see what happens with this crypto address. Now, see, you noticed in my title, I don't have enough confidence that things gonna happen good. All right, so I came up with a title because I want something good out of this from this Nancy with the cryptocurrencies. And y'all, to be honest with you, I'm not quite familiar with the crypto currencies. So they're gonna talk about it in this segment. I got a video because I know a lot of people about like me. I don't understand this stuff. I don't use it, so why should I understand crypto? Okay, so we're gonna get in that today. But y'all need to read my title. Say Nancy Guthrie crypto address might became congestion or obstacle problem. I believe it's going to be a problem today. Okay, let me tell you the reason why I said that, y'all. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't know what kind of weather is going to do to crypto. It may be a crypto winter that, where you have the period of low prices and low marketing. We don't know if it's going to be a technical issue, a network problem with the transition of the cryptocurrencies. We don't know if it's going to be congestions when the network is, we may overload and whip the transactions. They want 6 million. So I know the machine probably said, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if the cryptocurrencies is going to be difficult securely feeding the external data into the blockchain. Anything can happen with this cryptocurrency today. Anything can happen, y'all. Anything. It can have a crash now, a significant drop in values. We don't know. Anything can happen, y'all. Anything can happen, so I can't wait. So what I'm gonna do is turn this video on over to you all so you can get an idea of the crypto address and currencies. What's going on? Okay, I don't think, bad as I want it to be for it to work out, I really do. So y'all, but what I do in later on, we're gonna get into this, okay? But I just want to get it with my morning crew, night crew, whatever y'all from. So let's kind of like draw attention to this video. And after this video, y'all gonna have a good day. And hey, y'all know I will be back because I want to see what's gonna happen. I really do. I want to see what's gonna happen at 5 o'clock. I don't know if it's 5 o'clock their time, 5 o'clock my time. I don't know, but we will see. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Okay. All right. I'm gonna take you out here. Okay, now this video is gonna tell y'all a little bit about the FBI and how the FBI probes the crypto address and the Guthrie Ransom letter. It's gonna tell you everything I just mentioned to you. Okay, love y'all. Have a great day.
As investigators continue to search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, FBI investigators are trying to probe more information from the cryptocurrency address listed in that first alleged ransom note. Cryptocurrencies, like Bitcoin, run on a public blockchain. It acts like a bank's ledger. No government, no single company controls the blockchain, but authorities are able to see the addresses and transaction keys that are made on these digital currency exchanges. Let's bring in Ari Redford, former Undersecretary for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence. He's also a former U.S. attorney. You know, the cryptocurrency is very difficult for a lot of people to understand. You know, it's in the first note, it's mentioned there. And the first question I have is cryptocurrency truly traceable?
No, it's a great question and a great opening to this segment. Like the actual fact that the blockchain is in fact visible. So no, cryptocurrency transactions are not anonymous. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Every single transaction in Bitcoin is immutable, meaning it's never. And that allows us to use tools like TRM, investigators and law enforcement and compliance teams to track and trace the flow of funds in real time to build investigations that we never could in the traditional world. You mentioned I was a prosecutor for many years. I investigated cases involving bulk cash smuggling and network shell companies and art and diamonds in ransom type cases. And the reality is we can see visibility and trace transactions on blockchain better than we could in the traditional world.
So that's interesting, Ari. You know, as you think about this then and the way that this would work, if the family was to pay this alleged ransom, how difficult would it be to then track it back to an identity that you could then potentially obtain and have someone to prosecute?
And obviously, I mentioned as a prosecutor, I would never get into any pending investigation, particularly one this serious. But at a higher level, certainly authorities would be able to track and trace a payment in Bitcoin. And really what you're trying to do then is associate that address with other addresses. Are there any known criminal networks associated with this? Has this address been used in this way in the past? And you track and trace the flow of funds, and really you're hoping that those funds eventually go to a cryptocurrency exchange. And why that's so important is because that exchange likely has the underlying user information, right? We see an alphanumeric address on the blockchain, but cryptocurrency exchanges have that know your customer information. So then law enforcement follows the flow of funds using TRM ultimately to an exchange where they send a subpoena or other legal process to actually understand potential who's behind that address. And then you do all those things out. What is their email address? And maybe send an email to their subpoena provider, a subpoena to their email provider, or records and cell tower data, and try to triangulate. You do surveillance. So it's really the blockchain allows you to track and trace the flow of funds that investigators have in a case like this.
So stepping away from the cryptocurrency and moving to this alleged ransom letter that was transmitted, let's say transmitted via email. So if something was to be transmitted via an email, some viewers may say, you know, why can't you track the email? Why can't you get the identity of the email? But you know this as an attorney, there are subpoenas involved. These can take time. And is there any way to expedite a process like this when you have someone's life potentially on the line and you're dealing with subpoenas, trying to get behind maybe an email address and find an identity?
It's such a great question, and the answer is absolutely. This is what I would describe as exigent circumstances, and I promise you that law enforcement is moving as quickly as possible. And these platforms, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking about, and I'm sorry, I was gonna stop this video, but I will be on forgot what I was gonna ask y'all. But I already said at the beginning of the video. Suppose, however they sending this money, crypto way. Suppose it would not take $6 million in one day. You know how with the bank would not let you withdraw that much money out the bank. I guess with the cryptocurrencies, I guess you can send millions of dollars, I guess. But what's going to be a problem with what's going on here is too much going on the news. Somebody watching this. It seems like when you're talking about a $6 million, you got how many people working in this? Here go your million, here go your million, or either here go 2 million. But we don't know what the Ransom note, the last note that she received, she responded to it. But is that the same Ransom note that she responded to the first time? Because see, y'all, we getting too many places to send this money to. It seemed like a scam. Seems like it may be a scam. How is the FBI gonna really know that this not a scam? Because lately we've been getting so many phone calls, you know what I mean? And trying to get you to get this and trying to get you to get that. But how do they know that this is gonna be difficult today, y'all? But we just gonna sit and wait. I'm not gonna stop it anymore. It's weird. I don't care what nobody say.
And even end-to-end encrypted messaging app platforms are used to law enforcement moving quickly and maybe even providing legal process, after the ask is made, right? You are trying to, someone's life is in danger here, and we're trying to move as quickly as possible. Obviously, you need to do all the things the Constitution requires, and those are being done too. But I'll tell you that in a case like this, I know that law enforcement is moving as quickly as possible and not really derailed by sort of long, legal processes for sure.
No doubt, have to abide by the Fourth Amendment and all the protections there, but the exigency would certainly speed this up. Ari, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it. Well, as we look at this, there's a guest that I've been very interested in speaking with as we look at the surge into Nancy's home. It's day 7. We are once again about 2 days. It's Monday, that second deadline in that note. And with that, let's bring in retired FBI agent Richard Kolko. Richard, I saw you earlier in the week, and I thought this was fascinating and just very good advice for anyone out here watching. It was the first I had heard about it. The importance of, when you are a family, having a word that, God forbid, this ever happened to you and there was a kidnapping and you're trying to get proof of life. An individual, a family member, would know a secret word only your family would know that could then be transmitted to investigators, proof of life, and maybe solve a case like this in a Ransom situation. We know there is no proof of life in this letter, but if you could explain the types of things a proof of life could be.
Well, proof of life, you need proof of life and proof of possession, two different things. You have to make sure they actually have our contact. That proof of life, that secret word, very important. But things have changed over time because people typically would use the name of a pet or the street they first lived on. They went for kind of the easy answer. But now with social media, people might have a picture of their dog from 7 years ago, and the bad guys might be able to guess that. Anybody who's traveled overseas, I got to travel to some war zones, you do what's called isolated persons paperwork, so that if you are kidnapped, you've got that word, and it's documented at the FBI. Military does a similar thing, and having that word for your family is important. But I say make it a little bit more complex as picking the name of your dog, because if you find yourself in that unfortunate circumstance of being kidnapped, the kidnappers might be able to get something as simple as that out of you.
Yeah.
But very
good practical advice. We're looking now, this is earlier footage. These are the investigators, the third search of the home. On the roof, they also looked at the garage. I believe we have a picture, we can pull it up, of the blue Subaru that they took away. What do you make of this focus on the roof, this wired device outside the home, the removal of the car on third search? What does this all say to you?
Well, it says to me that they probably were very successful in the first couple of searches, because if you go and do your search, get everything you need, send that stuff off to the lab, maybe you succeeded. But what might have happened is something has come back, a return from one of those earlier searches, maybe some information based on interviews that have been conducted with neighbors, potential suspects, anybody else, and that's what's brought them back to the house a second, now a third time. Not a big concern. It's a different kind of building facility that they've searched in a criminal matter, that you might just a warrant actually has a time period on it. Once you execute the warrant, you have to actually get another warrant. But you know that the family here is obviously consenting to everything that law enforcement needs.
This is such an odd case, and I believe we have this statistic that we'll put up, and this is elderly abduction, and you can see on this chart, we'll show you how rare it is to have someone who is over 80 years old abducted. And you see there how the numbers just dwindle, and it really is a handful of cases each year. And then when you pair that with a stranger abduction being exceedingly rare, the idea that a stranger would take an 80-year-old, this is very odd. Have you seen anything
Look,
like this?
y'all, you see where's 145, 25. This is weird. And she's 84. So whoever is close to Savannah is who they trying to hurt in this situation. So they took the mom.
Your career?
I've seen
Like journey trading, like that learning curve.
I pray that it does, but I really don't.
but not so much in America. This traditional kidnap has gone away, mostly because of technology. Now with phones, social media. License plate readers, whole demand a hospital, then grab somebody and say, "Hey."
Watch about this case. They mention movies. Why they keep mentioning different? They said Law and Order. They said Asylum of Them. And what else? The other? And then he mentioned movies. I mean, oh Lord, help me, Jesus, help me.
Happen anymore. There are some crypto kidnappings going on, and actually 75 miles south of Guthrie's home, there are a lot of kidnappings going on from the drug world, but that's unrelated.
But see, we didn't even know that, did we? No, we didn't know that.
That's paying bills off. But as far as in America, as you said, the number is very low. The actual abductions, stranger abductions in the United States is only between 1 and 300 per year. So something like this is very rare. I was going through the books, history books. It's been a while since we've had what we call that KFR, that traditional kidnapping.
Wow, that really puts it into perspective. And when you mention those abductions that have happened 75 miles south and paying bills, so those are separate in that there's a reason there. You're wanting maybe a drug cartel. It's a totally separate. It's all cartel related.
She telling y'all the truth, and y'all don't want to mention nothing about the cartels. Y'all want to keep the cartels out. See, y'all don't want to. Just like she said, it is the cartels. But y'all, he don't want y'all to say nothing about no cartels, y'all. The cartels are the ones. See, when they fool around now and with ICE locked up, try to interfere. When you try to intervene with the cartels, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. Because they run everything, y'all. They see everything and they run it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen to what she just said to him. I like her.
Wow, that really puts it into perspective. And when you mention those abductions that have happened 75 miles south and paying bills, so those are separate in that there's a reason there. You're wanting maybe a drug cartel. It's a totally separate.
Oh, see here. Yes, it is a cartel. Yes, it is. When you're dealing with money like that, come on now. Any move, Minnie. Excuse me, y'all.
And they rarely call law enforcement if somebody's kidnapped because somebody owes money, and that's just the ongoing drug war there. But there's a lot of that does go on. Law enforcement does get called in when it's a U.S. citizen, but that and certainly in other countries, we know that there's a lot of crypto kidnappings that are going on around the world right now.
Oh, he sure did stop that. I'm sorry, guys. He cut that conversation real quick. When you start bringing the cartels in, don't put that name in it. But he the one brought it up because he said years ago. He said that down the street from Miss Guthrie, and then he mentioned about what was going on down there. And then when she streamed, I like this girl right here. This girl right here is boy. Everybody listen to what y'all say.
What they're doing there is they're grabbing the person that owns the crypto. So they've got the crypto code to get the money. So they're not sending a note to anybody. They're torturing or beating these people so they give up the code. They drain their crypto and then let them go because they got what they wanted. That's what's happening on the
It sounds like to me, y'all, and I'm gonna let y'all go. It seemed like Miss what her name, Miss Nancy have dealt with crypto before with the dollars before. I really do. I believe she have sent money to someone before. You know how nice older people are, and they take advantage of them and everything. I believe it has some. It's something, y'all. I keep y'all informed. I keep y'all updated, and y'all know I am. Oh Lord, I can't wait to 5 o'clock Eastern time, whatever time it is. But y'all know I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna be ready, and we'll see what's going on, y'all.